So, tell us about Adam Schrader.
Adam Schrader. One of my best friends. We go way back. And then he grew up to do, Billy Madison, classic. Happy Gilmore.
No, wait. No, Adam Schrader.
Who's the fuck? Oh, Adam Schrader. Okay. Shot! I said I needed a shot.
To the outside world, Adam Schrader appeared to be at the top of his game before his untimely death at the age of 31. But to those who knew him best, his death was anything but a surprise. Adam grew up in the suburban Dallas town of Flower Mound during the period of the 1990s when kids were transitioning from building tree forts to playing video games. He was a big reader and had friends at school, though it was difficult for him to get close to other people because he wet the bed until he was like 12. Adam's parents provided him with a loving home and encouraged him to become well-rounded. They took him to swimming and violin lessons and other extracurricular activities, helped him with his science fair projects, and, were generally good parents. So his downfall came as a real surprise to them. They declined to be interviewed for this film.
How did you first meet or become friends?
We met at elementary school. Actually, show you a picture right here. Mm-hmm. One second. I believe it was Bo Camp's class. Here we go. I didn't have that prepared. Okay, let's go. So let's focus right here on this handsome devil. That's gonna be me right there. Okay, Schrader. Oh yeah, he's the guy in the overalls with his mouth hanging open, mouth breathing motherfucker. That guy. Love him to death.
Would you guys say that you have that in common?
He couldn't breathe through his nose ever. Yes, we do have that in common, but mine's due to a long career of cocaine use. His is just natural. Poor guy. Poor fucker. I think back to what initiated our bond, and it brings me to a younger time, man. Fucking the system was our bond.
Yeah.
Off the phone until our investigation is done.
We're with DCPI. With DCPI.
Hang up. I'm telling you to disperse. How many times did I tell you we have a crime scene?
We are outside of the crime scene.
Now you are.
You've been
And then
yelling
you
at
kept
us the whole
coming
time.
over.
You're yelling at us this whole time.
You kept coming over when I told you.
No, we
I
didn't.
even told you.
Then we backed up. We got off the sidewalk. You told us to get off the sidewalk. We got off the
and then you were
sidewalk.
on the street, and I said you're blocking the
So
street.
then we backed up to here.
No. If that was the case, we wouldn't have an issue.
We're trying to
Because you
make
kept
our
coming back.
presence here known as press, which we are
Absolutely.
legally
And you know what?
allowed to do.
You guys
And
have
from
a
the
great
minute that we
camera.
got here, you gotta had a problem with us.
Because there's 3 male shot. We need.
We
a crime
understand,
scene.
but
No,
we're
you
doing
don't
our
understand.
Then you set the crime scene up and shut down the.
Also, he's a very political fellow. One time we got kicked out of the shopping centers at Highland Village, and he sat down, refused to get removed under pretext of freedom of speech. Didn't work out. I actually got arrested. I kind of forgot about that. I think I probably talked to him about that. I think he might owe me some bond money. Great guy, artist. He's beautiful, lovely. There was also that one time he told my mom about the drugs I was doing.
How'd that make you feel?
Fine. But then he went with my mom to all the drug dealers' houses.
Let me just start by saying I loved Adam. He was one of my best friends. I'd known him since high school. We went to college together, roomed together in college. We got into a lot of trouble together. We go way back. But for the entire time that I'd known Adam, I don't think I ever heard him say the words, "You're right, Kyle," or "I completely agree." Now, I'm 90% sure Adam had what's known as oppositional defiance disorder or asshole disorder. I've never met another person that was as confrontational as Adam. And I mean that in a loving way. It was fun, you know? You could say something like, "The sky is blue," and he'd say, "Nah, it's more of a gray." You could tell him that you like a movie, and he would proceed to tell you why that movie is trash. I never really got used to that. You kind of learn to expect it and kind of accept it that way. And then eventually you just roll with it. Sometimes it was even funny. I'd throw things out there that I thought, there's no way he can disagree with this. And sure as hell he would. You know, he's probably down in hell right now, telling somebody that it's not that hot.
When Adam was in high school, he became what is referred to as an emo kid, who are basically teenagers who are extra moody and think they're edgier and going through so much more than other teenagers. He'd write awful, sad poetry, usually about suicide. In fact, one of his high school teachers had to pull him aside after class to make sure he was okay. She then encouraged her son to become friends with him, because he probably wouldn't have if his mom didn't force him to.
So Adam had these kind of two sides to his personality. I got to know Adam mostly in college, and that's where I spent the most time with him. Of course, I've kept up with him since then. But Adam was so nervous all the time when we were in college, and he would throw up at the slightest provocation. You know, somebody would eat cottage cheese during lunch, and he would have to rush out and vomit. He would vomit before smoking a cigarette or after. Really kind of, it was unpredictable. It's hard to know, but he was nervous.
Like when I talk about how he could vomit onto a white couch, like inhuman.
Like a cartoon character.
It wasn't even real. It was like I can't even. It's not even. It's unprecedented how much you go.
Like it was a gift.
Shot. I need a shot.
All right. Can we get him a shot, please?
On the other hand, he was also an incredibly adventurous person and would just kind of go for things. And he asked out a lot of girls, and they pretty much said no most of the time. But he would get up, dust himself off, and move on with his life in a way that was really quite difficult for any of the rest of us. And maybe those two things reinforced each other, vomiting and getting shot down. But I have to say that his ability to bounce back from things and to go on and move on, to go for the next thing was, I think, a really remarkable quality. It's probably the thing I respected most about him, even though sometimes it was kind of ridiculous. But I will miss that about him.
Adam would eventually graduate from Lubbock Christian University in December 2012, about a semester after most of his friends, with a degree in music business. As a part of his degree, he completed an internship with KCBD in Lubbock, where he fell in love with the news and later enrolled in a master's degree program in journalism at the University of North Texas in Denton, Texas. He would begin his career with an editor position at the Dallas Morning News, where he stayed until he ultimately moved to New York after the newspaper had mass layoffs in 2016.
You want to know what I think about Adam? Well, my brother, so, I love him, but boy, is that hard sometimes.
What do you love about America? What do you love about America? Hey, what do you love about America? Hey, what do you love about America? Why do you love America?
Here's the thing. He says one thing, and he just does something else. What? You're asking me what he's doing now? No clue.
With reviews like bad, 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 really terribly, horribly, magnificently, genuinely bad, and I picked this up as a free book, it was still a mistake. I'm sure you'll forgive me for giving them this.
And what now? He says he's going to law school soon, but all I see on his Instagram is just doodles. I mean, they're nice, I guess. I mean, that's what I tell him. Try so hard. But come on, are you serious? The only position he's taking on in the court is a court jester. It's really just chaotic decisions.
Adam struggled after moving to New York. He began working as a freelance reporter for the New York Daily News, which he thought was a fun job, but it wasn't enough to afford the sky-high rent of the city. He took a job at Facebook, working at the social media giant's offices in New York as a trending news curator before the company ultimately disbanded it and he was laid off again. After that, Adam struggled to keep jobs, bouncing back and forth between New York and Texas.
Adam's the only person I ever wrote a job reference for. The company even phoned me to clarify he was a good fit for the job. Did the guy a solid to help him land that job, and he didn't even last a day. That's right, Adam's the only person I know to have been fired before he even started his first day on the job.
Both just like walking wasted and sexy. What is your first physical memory with Mr. Schrader?
Sexual or non?
Preferably non.
We all went out for drinks. He was skeptical, as a friend should be, with a new woman in his life. He wanted to get deep in there, like who the essence of Heather really is, all in between. So, but I also wanted the same, because I'm like, this is my love of my life, my boyfriend. I want to know this guy, all that stuff too. So, we ended up doing the same to each other, and, being open, and, we both cried in the middle of the bar that night. So, it was a really beautiful moment.
That's lovely. So we also have spoken with Mr. Cruz. Mm-hmm. He mentioned some vomit. Mm-hmm. Might you have a similar experience?
Yeah, it seems like you can't mention Adam Schrader without vomit, which is actually a beautiful thing. Purging or so on. But, yeah, he drank too much that night, and he definitely vomited in the corner of the bar. I tried to help him out. He tried to hide it with his hand, so it ended up all over his hand. And in the midst of trying to get something to wipe it off, this is, before the COVID-19 stuff. But people wanted, hi, who are you? Ran up to him. And he put his hand, that vomit hand, right out. Adam Schrader, but I had to intervene. Same thing, right? And I told him, hey, he has vomit on his hand. But nobody cared. Everybody still shook his hand that night. And, that's Adam fucking Schrader.
A major hardship the up-and-coming journalist faced was when he was arrested covering the Dakota Access Pipeline protests at Standing Rock.
I've only ever given Adam a few words of advice. Don't get within arm's reach of an angry cop, I said. Less than an hour later, he did exactly that and got himself arrested.
Take your mark. Get set. Go.
Adam eventually met his partner Elizabeth Keogh while both of them were working for the New York Daily News. She stayed with him despite his inability to keep a job in obvious battles with mental illness. Eventually, Adam decided to leave journalism and enrolled at Brooklyn College to earn an art degree, after having previously trying to attend Army basic training and law school and failing to complete either. But at least he stopped vomiting because he no longer had to worry about asking girls out.
Speaking of failure, the American Army decided Adam wasn't even worth sacrificing in combat. They fired him from basic training.
You know, it's just a really sad time. We never really thought that we'd lose Adam. Somebody you could count on to leave cans all over the apartment, to never close the shower curtain and just let all that mold build up. Somebody who didn't even know how to cook a bowl of cereal. It's just a gigantic loss for not just me, like no longer having a partner, but just humanity, really. Adam was one of those people who didn't put chips in a bowl and just continuously put his hand into the bag of chips over and over and over again, not only creating a disgusting environment for the next person who may want some chips, but just the constant crinkling over the TV or music or your book. You could always count on him for that constant crinkling. I don't know how I feel about never having to worry for my life while in the car with him. You know, just somebody who weaves in and out of traffic. He was one of those drivers who would pull up right on your tail and then decide to get into the lane to go around you instead of just doing that immediately to begin with. It was really scary. So I guess I'll always drive now. I'll miss that adrenaline. It's almost as if you're on a roller coaster. Not like at Coney Island, but at like Six Flags. Like a really scary roller coaster. I don't know how we'll get over this.
After hearing all of Adam's friends speak, I'm starting to understand why he killed himself.
Guys, I'm still alive. I'm still here. Guys, I'm still alive. I'm still here. We can still hang out. Come on. I didn't kill myself. I'm still here. 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 I'm still here.